Do you ever have one of those days when you're simply at the end of your rope? Perhaps you are completely exhausted because you've tried to keep up with a schedule that you know is ridiculous. Or perhaps you're confronted by a vexing problem at home or at work that you've just been unable to solve. Perhaps it's a relationship that just can't seem to be mended, or an issue that can't get or stay resolved. An obstacle that no matter what you try or how hard you work, you just can't get past. Such challenges seem even worse when we know that we've been given the responsibility of leadership. Our society tells us that we're supposed to be the ones with the answers, that we're supposed to lead with energy and courage and conviction, and that if we just follow the right leadership model or the management program, we could get it all done on time with fabulous results. We just have to dig deeper and try harder. So we find ourselves looking back over the situation again and again, looking for what we've missed, and we put our heads down and just try to plow on. Exhaustion and a haunting sense of inadequacy become familiar companions. But in the second week of Lent, we hear a word of promise and invitation from the psalmist, one who's familiar with trouble and knows what it's like to feel locked into a situation from which there's no visible path forward. Lent reminds us, of course, that this is exactly the situation in which we all find ourselves. We're caught up in a sinful and broken world, and we simply don't have the resources to make it right. No matter how many leadership models we try, or how hard we work. No, we need to connect with someone larger than ourselves. And so we hear the psalmist's opening lines here. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. It's such a simple instruction, really. Stop and look up. The God who made all that is, who created each of us and knows our names, is right there in front of us, ready and willing to help. Stop and look up. God is ready to give us a renewed perspective on that troublesome situation. Stop and look up. God is ready to give us patience and grace with that intractable person. Stop and look up. God is ready to assure us that the world really does not rest upon our shoulders. It rests in the inexhaustible love and grace of God. But perhaps it's only when we are in those situations where we know we're at the end of ourselves that we are finally ready to receive this greatest of gifts. To stop and look up and see once again that it is God who keeps our life. God is the only one who can truly empower faithful leadership, who can bring invigorating new vision into tired places, who can bring reconciliation into the worn ruts of old and unhealthy patterns of relationship and behavior. God who comes in Jesus Christ to meet us precisely at that place where we are most at the end of ourselves. That God is faithful and brings new life out of death. This God can lead us through any situation in which we find ourselves. We just have to stop and look up.